has now upped the ante against China on multiple fronts. It's not just the diplomatic offensive that we've been talking about all day, but it's also the fact that India has upped the ante at the UN level. Not only that, we are now getting to know that India is also keeping a close eye on the situation in HKSAR, the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, where China has passed a new national security law. Not only that, India is all set to procure new defense equipment, including Sukhoi fighter jets, MiG-29s, and a whole host of missiles. The opposition now would be asked the question, is this what a quote-unquote surrender looks like? My colleague Mohit Sharma joins us with more details on what India is all set to procure defense-wise. Mohit, Sukhois, MiGs, as well as a host of other missiles. What are the details here?
Well, absolutely, Atha. There's absolutely no end to the kind of purchases which are being made by India this time around. Purchases worth close to 38,000 crores is something that India is really looking at this particular point, and this would definitely include the Sukhois and the MiGs that you've already mentioned. But at the same time, the MiGs that are already with India would also be up for upgradation. Now, fact of the matter here is that India would also, at this particular point, be stressing on Atmanirbhar Bharat, a call which has been given by none other than the Prime Minister himself. Now, given the fact that India has on several occasions we've seen the Air Force asking for long-range missiles as well. So all of those purchases are also going to be made this time around. And coming to just to naming a few of these the equipments which would be purchased by the Indian Armed Forces, by the Defense Ministry, it includes the Pinaka ammunitions, the BMP armament, upgrades, the software-defined radios for the army, long-range missiles, long-range land attack cruise missile system, and Astra missiles for the Navy and the Air Force as well. So there's a long list of procurement which will be made by the Indian defense. At the same time, what's interesting here is the fact that though I've already mentioned that worth 38,000 crores is something that the purchase would be worth for,
right,
but close to 31,000 crores would be only of Indian-built weapons, or for that matter, the software system. So that's an important bit which can be mentioned here, is the fact that the India in its wholesome nature is moving towards.
We're getting some more voices on this. Air Marshal P.K. Barbora joins us now. Marshal Barbora, this was long overdue, many would say, and I'm sure you're one of those. But now finally, India is upping the defense ante. It's not just Sukhoi fighter jets or MiG-29s. We're also loading up on missiles and missile defense systems as well. What kind of message does this send, not only to China, but also potential aggressors in our neighborhood?
First and foremost, I think we are all aware of the deficiencies in the Air Force, Army, Navy, everywhere, because they are very, very costly items.
Right.
And putting both the MiG-29s, 21 of them, which were basically mothballed MiG-29s, which are no use to the Russians. So they're giving us those, but I don't know, they will not be in the upgraded form that we have got our own MiG-29s today upgraded.
Okay.
So obviously it will take time to, if we are going to upgrade them, but we can obviously use them still in this present form with minor, screwing up.
Marshal Barbora, please stay with us. We also have Sushant Sareen, the strategic affairs analyst, joining us now on the phone line. Sushant, the fact that India has upped the ante defense-wise, we're now procuring more and more fighter jets, 38,900 crore, if I'm not mistaken here. How do you read this, first of all?
Look, I think, one, there are certain gaps which are certainly being sought to be filled up in our preparedness, and that's good. And it's good, I think we should be thankful to the Chinese that they've prompted the government to start filling up certain gaps. Otherwise, that complacency had set in. So I think we should thank the Chinese for that.
Okay.
Number two, I think it is important for us to be very, very careful about, the kind of preparedness we have. Normally, it doesn't look very good when you're facing this kind of a crisis. Suddenly there is a lot of, stuff which starts happening. I think as a serious country, India should have a set plan in place so that, we don't have to have these kind of knee-jerk reactions that when we might be confronted with an emergency situation, there are these emergency procurements which start. I think we really need to beef up our system, and to that extent, We should be thankful to the Chinese for giving us a wake-up call. Also in how we need to, work out our defense procurement systems, how we work out, all those other criteria which we have to put in place so that at the last minute, at the 11th hour, we're not running around for stuff. So to that extent, I think the Chinese have done us a favor in many ways.
Okay, but would you say that as you mentioned right now, this was long overdue. We have the Chinese to thank for it, but the fact is this going to be enough just to send a message across to Beijing, or do we need far more than a few jets as well as some missile defense systems? Because we're not getting 3 or 4 jets, we're getting around 38 if I'm not wrong, 33.
No, look. See, here is the thing. These jets are not like going to the local supermarket and just picking them up.
Clearly
not. Place these orders, these will take time to come. But to say that we are simply not prepared, I think that would also be a travesty. I think we are very well prepared. We are very well balanced. The offensive capability will be further enhanced by the procurement of this equipment. But it's not as though we don't have enough capability to handle not just the Chinese, but also the Pakistanis. I'm sure the defense preparedness to that extent is all right, but it's just not enough to keep the other side at bay. It's also necessary that if the other side was to become rather adventurous, then you can take the battle into their land rather than fighting a defensive war. So I think.
And at this point, do you think that option is on the table, has been discussed according to you? Because what we understand and what we are hearing, that all options have been discussed post Galwan. They're all on the table.
Options will definitely we have to be on the table, because you can't suddenly say that, because look, options are not going to be decided only by one side. The other side also gets a vote in this, and a lot will depend on what kind of stuff the other side does to you. So obviously when you discuss your options, you will be discussing what the other side would be doing, and then what your response to what the other side does is. And also that if the other side does not do what you want it to do, or what you need it to do, then what is the stuff that you're going to do to ensure that you get what you want?
So what you're saying essentially is speak softly but carry a large stick.
Always.
All right. Thank you, Sushant Sareen, for joining us, and Air Marshal Babur as well. We'll move on now to other news.